Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional. Guys, have a great Friday. We have a weekend to look forward to. Hope you guys have some pretty awesome plans with the fam bam if you're just spending the weekend or even at work, you know what I mean? Just try to make the best of any situation you kind of land in life. You know what I mean? You only live once, you know what I mean? So why not make it live to the fullest, you know what I mean? But without the bad decisions, don't make any crazy, hasty decisions, of course. Of course, stay safe, stay beautiful, but most importantly, stay tuned. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a great show for you today on tap. We're going to talk about some WWE Smackdown. Going to preview that. I was looking over a lot of the previews, and I was like, a lot of just a lot of promos you're probably going to see tonight. And a lot of like probably random matches. I can imagine maybe Michin or like maybe Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, maybe perhaps maybe Andrade and well, Andrade's gonna fight. I think he's fighting LA Knight, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's I want to see Carmelo Hayes fight. I don't know. I love the way Carmelo Hayes is, and he's money. When he shoots, he don't miss. So we're gonna talk about SmackDown. Second segment, we're gonna talk about some my Thursday night wrestling review. We're gonna talk about TNA Impact and also Ring of Honor Club 82. And then our third segment, we got wrestling power rankings, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna start with the men in the third segment, and in the fourth segment, we're gonna talk about the amazing women in professional wrestling. And then the fifth and final segment, something we do every Friday night. I'll leave you guys pondering over some wrestling news that's hit, that are bombshells over the over the world of professional wrestling, excuse me. Just in case maybe if you run into somebody at a barbecue or if you're at the bar, watching football this Sunday and some guy's wearing a wrestling shirt and you're like, you know what, I can definitely, get feedback from what that dorky guy was saying on that wrestling podcast. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But no, it's gonna be great. All right. Before we do any of that, of course, absolutely 1,010%. Go ahead and hit up that super chat. Hit up that super chat, whether if you got a burning question or hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears, 1,010%. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure your voice is heard and feels like part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop those thoughts inside that chat box. And if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed on air, use that super chat. It's a $ below the chat box, and your comment, question, concern, opinion will be guaranteed to be featured on the show. It helps us, support the channel. 1,010% helps us keep the lights on in the GSMC Sports Network so we can keep bringing you guys awesome sports content that you guys love so dang much. And first and foremost, we are super who joins us here daily. Your support makes all the difference. So let's send in those super stickers because you guys are super awesome, and together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And once again, if the super chat is not your thing, you can still hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, concerns. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But criticism, it's all about life, baby. Feedback is a gift, so don't be shy. Drop those thoughts inside that chat box and let's have a nice, engaging conversation. Would absolutely love it. Would love it. All right, moving on to segment one. We're going to talk about some WWE Smackdown. I got to be honest now. Scout's honor. I have not checked a single shred of social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or, Twitter. Twitter/X or whatever it's called now. We have a pretty awesome episode of WWE Smackdown. Obviously, building up momentum toward Bad Blood. WWE returns to Sacramento, California for the Blue brand on a Friday night SmackDown edition. Obviously, pending a lot of pending things kind of going around here. Tonight, we actually have a tag team match. We have Nia Jax teaming up with Tiffany Stratton. She's like my Barbie doll. It's kind of funny. I don't know why whenever she says that, it cracks me up. Then we have Bayley, the former WWE Women's Champion, and Naomi. Bayley showed up, to invoke her rematch clause against Nia Jax last week on WWE Smackdown. Tiffany Stratton, of course, got, interrupted it, and she proposed and Nia Jax proposed a tag team match instead with bad blood implications between the two women. For Bayley and Naomi, failure means one of these women will have to leave the blue brand forever. Can this duo coexist in high stakes tag team matchup? Um, I think they can. I think they can 1,010%. Where does it say the winner? No, it doesn't really say. But having somebody leave SmackDown to go to Raw is actually probably a good decision. Probably a good decision. Um, on Raw, you think about some of the top tier women on Monday Night Raw right now. Of course, you have Laura Valkyria kind of bouncing back and forth between that and NXT. Sonya Deville, I still think Shayna Baszler's kind of high end there a little bit. But Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are on the blue brand. They just defend the women's championships. It would be interesting to find Bayley. It'd be kind of cool to see Bayley leave, and go to Monday Night Raw. I think that would be great for the brand. She can challenge Liv Morgan, kind of give her, kind of give it a different taste. You know what I mean? All in all, I feel like Bayley, a sense of veteranship. Like as soon as Charlotte Flair comes back from injury, she can challenge her. The girl who defeated her for the WWE Women's Champion. I think it was at WrestleMania a couple of years ago. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But that was like Bayley's that was like her moment. You know what I mean? And always keeping those girls in contention, always having back and forth feuds that happen from time to time is it makes for good TV. So I can't wait to watch that. Next we have LA Knight. Yeah, LA Knight takes on Andrade for the United States Championship. Andrade earned his United States Championship, number one contendership, beating Carmelo Hayes 3 matches to 2 in the best of 5 series. It would be interesting to see if the LA Knight would drop the title super quick. I honestly think that Andrade does deserve something. He definitely does deserve. Ever since he came back to WWE, he's been on some good bookings. He's been the WWE Speed Champion. I know that's not the best thing in the world, but but it is something. I guess something's better than nothing in this kind of situation. Or the LA Knight, if he wins, you can have him, he has the title. I don't know who would be probably next for the United States Championship shot, maybe Carmelo Hayes. It would have been awesome to see this match um, at Bad Blood. It'd be kind of cool to see maybe a triple threat match between the 3 guys. Maybe last week Andrade and Carmelo Hayes tied, and then Nick Aldis is like, oh, a triple threat match. You know what I mean? But then again, Carmelo Hayes could interfere tonight, and knowing his his reputation with Andrade matches, that's a huge possibility for tonight. And then once again sparking the rivalry, maybe creating a triple threat match. That would be pretty cool because LA Knight and Carmelo Hayes actually have beef as well. So it seems like it's gonna come in fruition. I hope something happens to where they have to push it to Bad Blood, because right now, once again, I think there's only 5 confirmed matches, maybe even 4. So it'd be kind of cool for the WWE PLE audiences to kind of get more bang for their buck. You know what I mean? And next, we're going to see Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns going to obviously have to come at odds. Well, they're going to have to overcome the odds, and they have to come to a common ground together. Against Solo Sikoa, Jacob, Fatu. On paper, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, they dominate. They dominate 1,010%. But since you have the lingering rivalry between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and the amazing chemistry, obviously, between the tribal chief and the Samoan werewolf, it's going to be hard. They have to work together. They definitely have to work together. And in my opinion, I think they will. I think they will. Honestly, I think they're probably going to pick up the dub. I feel like this is the last kind of run with Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline for a little while here, until they kind of kind of separate things and kind of get things in line of, because once when The Rock comes back as well, he's going to want to fight Cody Rhodes. He's going to want to be the head of the tribal chief. When he came back the first time, it didn't look like he was too keen on playing second fiddle to Roman Reigns. So that could definitely be a possibility. Obviously with Hika Leo and now Zilla Fatu also, in the mix could possibly be possibly debuting at some Bad Blood, maybe not. But I don't know. Overall, we have three big segments tonight, and I couldn't be more excited. You know what I mean? Obviously, there are some still, there's some stuff to think, still to kind of ponder around what's going to happen with A-Town Down Under, what's going to happen with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton moving forward with their storylines. I don't know if the Viper has been confirmed to be on SmackDown tonight, but overall, I think it's going to be a good episode. Obviously, under the Triple H Paul Levesque era, feels like every episode of SmackDown and Raw is like a must watch. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into my Thursday night wrestling review. We're going to talk about TNA Impact, and we're also going to talk about Ring of Honor Honor Club 82. So, don't touch that dial and, stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time on the GSMC Sports Network. Talk about some good old-fashioned wrestling, just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review, and now we're going to jump into some Thursday night wrestling review, give you my takes on what happened on TNA Impact, also on Ring of Honor. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat right there. We absolutely love hearing from you guys during the show. So whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you've been dying to get off your chest, something you've been dying to get off trying to get off your mind a little bit. This show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside the chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern or opinion gets noticed, why not use that super chat? It's a $sign below that chat box, and whatever you put in there will be guaranteed to be featured on the show 1,010%. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. The super chats helps us keep the lights on in terms of all the podcasts that we run here, and so we can bring you even more awesome, sports content that you guys love so much. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going, keep this party going. Send in those super chats because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. But once again, if the super chat is not your thing, you can still find the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just don't forget the Superman punch, that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. So don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Just do it. It's going to be awesome. So, it's going to be fun. All right, so let's go and talk about Thursday night wrestling. We're going to talk about some TNA Impact. That nope, that didn't work out. Sorry, my we're having a little bit of a malfunction here. Sorry, my notes aren't coming up. So let's talk about some Ring of Honor, Honor Club. Okay, let's start with Ring of Honor. We'll do Ring of Honor first. First and foremost, you guys know there was a proving ground tag team match that that happened. Thursday night Ring of Honor Club episode featured Guevara, Red Velvet, Cage of Agony, Dark Order, and more in action. A Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion Red Velvet defeated Alice in a proving ground match, and she actually unveiled, kind of like a new, type of belt for the for the Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion. So I thought that was, super cool. I definitely think she has a promising run. She has a promising run in Ring of Honor. Obviously, I think, when her and Queen running on all cylinders. It's tough to beat them. It is tough to beat them. So, I think that they're gonna have something, better in plan for them. Like, not that I'm not saying that it's not impressive that she is the women's television champion. I just, I kind of thought, it'd be, kind of a little more, but overall, obviously that is the mid card championship. Kind of like that Intercontinental Championship in WWE, and that belt could be prestigious as well. It doesn't always have to be the big prize, because right now you have Athena absolutely running rampant all over Ring of Honor. No one could stop that girl, man. Nobody could stop her because she's so impressive. She's so physical. She's dynamic. She can jump in, she has an arsenal attacks as well. She's like the total package in terms of wrestling. Kind of crazy to see her and kind of Jordan Grayskull one-on-one. I would absolutely love to see that. I think those are two of the best wrestlers inside the women's division. So 1,010%, respect, love Red Velvet, and I think she's gonna be great. I think she's, obviously Allison Kay. She was a worthy adversary, but obviously couldn't do what it takes to win that proving ground match. Gates of Agony defeated Dante Leon and Trip Jordy. Preston Vance defeated Brandon Cutler. John Silver defeated KM. Rachel Ellering defeated Maggie Lee, which is good for Rachel. I feel like once when she had her shot at Mina Shirakawa, things didn't go as planned, but I feel like Shirakawa's probably going to be booked on AEW Dynamite, maybe Collision, and more or less on the AEW side, instead of Ring of Honor. So they're gonna have to need somebody, to kind of be that next, number one contender, to be, because I feel like in every wrestling promotion, obviously you have the champion, you have the mid card champion, and then there's always that, there's always that next guy, like, what I mean? He's always, or she's always, just like pumping up momentum to kind of fight for a title shot. And, I definitely think she has what it takes to challenge Athena. I don't know if she has what it takes to beat her, but I'm just, I think, she's pretty great inside the ring. All in all, I think she's, she'd be a worthy opponent. It'd be good to kind of book them in like a PLE or like a Super Club or something like that. That'd be dope. The infantry defeated the Spanish Announce Project. Obviously, like I kind of saw this coming. The infantry feel a little, they kind of cut a promo where, they more or less kind of said, like, hey, like, we're still in the tag team division. Don't you be stepping over us. You know what I mean? So the infantry, super impressive. Absolutely super impressive. It'd be kind of cool to see them, go up against, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara in a proving ground match, probably within the foreseeable future. I would probably book that match within a couple of weeks. I think that'd be pretty badass. I know I would love to see them go at it, but the infantry, on a roll, building up momentum, hopefully for the Ring of Honor tag team title shot. That'd be cool. Anthony Ogogo with Shane Taylor defeated Kit Sackett. Brian Cage defeated Dion Russman. I love Brian Cage. I think, I think he's had a lot of success, obviously. Kind of faltered a little bit. Kind of seems like he's like, not like a glorified like jobber, but it seems like he does what it takes inside the match to kind of put over his opponents. I know for a fact that he has, he has title contendership, mentality that he's always down to fight. Obviously, who isn't? You know what I mean? Obviously, the leader of Gates of Agony, Brian Cage. So, I definitely think that he's going to be the next one to, kind of make that next step. A lot, because I've been watching Ring of Honor and AEW, for probably like going on almost a year. And Brian, I like seeing Brian Cage inside that ring. I'm sorry, like the way he comes in there, the way he just controls the match. I think he controls the match very, very well for like a big guy, for like a really buff guy. Usually, when you saw, kind of reminds me of Batista. I don't know if that's obviously gonna rub some of the fans the wrong way, but it kind of reminds me of the Batista once when he was with Triple H and Evolution. He could probably the fans could get behind him if he wasn't such a good guy to hate. You know what I mean? Kind of like one of those things where if you're a good heel, you love to hate him, and then when he's a baby face you love him. You know what I mean? So either way, I think definitely love and respect Brian Cage. Want to see more out of him. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara defeated Dark Order to retain the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, and I saw that coming. I definitely saw that coming. The Dark Order has been, they've been on a roll too. They've been, consistently winning matches, on Honor Club. So, um, I love Dustin Rhodes, man. Dustin Rhodes seems like he's kind of looking for a second win. Obviously, him amidst of retirement is still kind of up in the air, and his contract with AEW. This, I love that Tony Khan's is, he's kind of taking a chance on it and be like, look, if you're gonna leave us, if you think you're too old, if you think you can't perform inside the ring like you used to do, we're gonna book you top bookings. You know what I mean? Obviously, the 6-man champion, also the tag team champions. So he's got a lot of gold. You know what I mean? And if he goes out right now, definitely go out a winner. So I think that'd be badass. All right. Let's do it. Obviously, we have TNA Impact to talk about from the Boeing Center in San Antonio, Texas. Obviously, this was the fallout of Victory Road. A lot of good stuff happened. You saw Alicia Edwards open up the show, obviously, kind of explaining what happened, basically exactly what happened. She called out Masha Slamovich, and and then Steels, of course. It seems like these two girls are going to be in the foreseeable future something like a tag team. Maybe go up and try to defeat Spitfire, but I do love Spitfire. I'm happy that they actually became the the TNA Knockouts champion, and I thought it was kind of cool. And then you saw Ariana Grace come out the NXT license to make a tag team match for next week. Wendy Chu and Rosemary continue to tag team against Jordan Grace and and an NXT friend of Ariana. So that should be kind of crazy, but I don't know. Next, we have Eric Young backstage with Josh Alexander. Young says he's been where Alexander has been before. He said Alexander was heading to a place that's harder to come back from. That he can imagine. Young told Alexander that he's a leader and he needs to start acting like one, and that's true. That's true, 1,010%. I believe that Alexander is a TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and if the reports were true that during Slammiversary, during that 6-way elimination match, how he was originally supposed to win, and then mid-match they're like, you know what, let's put the title on Nick Nemeth. That's dreadful. That's terrible. You know what I mean? If you're Josh Alexander, I'd get a little hostile too, because right now he's debating on leaving TNA. I think he should stay. I think he should stay. Kind of reminds me of like a more aggressive Kurt Angle, but like not that successful. But he has the potential to be successful. So definitely love that. First match, we see Sinner and Saint taking on First Class. First Class was able to pick up the victory, which I kind of like. I thought that was pretty cool. Captain Charisma Mike Bailey was also backstage with Gia Miller discussing his win over Zachary Wentz at Victory Road. It definitely was one of the best nights. Opinion. That's what Miller said. It's Bailey Kushida and Leon Slater versus Wentz and ABC. For some reason, which was kind of like an odd matchup here. And then we had match number 2, pick your poison. We had Matt Cardona versus Rhino, and winner by disqualification was Rhino. So that was kind of cool. You know what I mean? I love Matt Cardona. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes like he seems like he'd be a little too much. Obviously, when you are a professional wrestler and you have TV time or airtime, you want to maximize anything. Obviously, that's what CM Punk told Roxanne Perez at NXT, so I thought that was kind of crazy. Cardona nailed Rhino with the radio silence. PCO's music hit and the lights went out. Cardona had the chair ready for PCO, caught him with a choke slam. He went for PCO salt, but Cardona rolled out of the ring. PCO took the chair and pretended it was Cardona. He nailed the PCO salt on the chair and continued to beat the chair down. So that's PCO. Looks like he's absolutely frustrated that Stephanie Lander is out of TNA. And it was all Matt Cardona's fault. Kind of. Well, maybe, I definitely think it is kayfabe. But if she does have a legit, injury, then, obviously, pray for a speedy recovery. Next, we have the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champion Spitfire against NXT's Kendall Gray and Carly Bright. Obviously, two of the most talented up and rising stars on NXT. I think Kendall Gray is amazing. Same with Carly Bright. I would have loved to see Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich, stay intact, even though they would lose but if they team with Alicia, with Tasha Steelz, maybe they can challenge Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. That would be a banger. I would love to see those girls go to TNA because they're high-end stars in WWE, and them coming on TNA soil would just be absolutely electric. But you had the TNA Knockouts champion win, still Knockouts champion Spitfire, which was super cool. Love that. Now we have the Texas death match between JDC and Mike Santana. Obviously, super graphic. This match was probably one of the longest matches I've seen. I watched the to be like, oh, I knew exactly what happened, but you know what I mean. But it was cool for a Texas death match. Was the perfect balance between adding weapons and wrestling and so I thought it was kind of cool, you know what I mean. The official match time, it was said to be 16 minutes and kind of crazy, and they say we didn't get all that on TV, so that's probably why the highlights were kind of jumbled together. But Mike Santana was able to pick up the win, which is good. I think Mike Santana has a bright future and still has, he's kind of been there for quite a bit for TNA, so yeah, definitely love that. Next, we had Joe Hendry speak. It was, Hendry defeated Josh Alexander by submission with his own ankle lock at Victory Road. Hendry has discussed his roller coaster over the year 2024, obviously with the whole NXT thing, coming so close to winning the TNA World Championship. But of course, that damn Frankie Kazarian had to come up and interrupt, some Joe Hendry time. I hated that. I love Joe Hendry. I wanted to see him come back to WWE NXT. It was kind of cool when Nick Nemeth came out and told Kazarian to shut up, because it was like, dude, like, why do you always got to rain on everybody's parade? You know what I mean? So now we have a number one contenders match next week, Kazarian taking on Joe Hendry. So it should be pretty badass. All right. We have a 6-person tag team match. The System and Tasha Steelz with Alicia Edwards against the Hardys and Masha Slamovich. Obviously, we had the baby faces win in this one. The Hardy Boys and Masha Slamovich was able to, pick up the dub, which I kind of knew, I bet you anybody knew that was going to happen. You know what I mean? So, TNA was, pretty good for what I saw. So, obviously they're still looking, pretty great, more successful with their pay-per-view sellouts and stuff like that. So, I don't know, this collaboration is doing pretty darn well. All right, so guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into my third segment. We got Wrestling Power Rankings. We're going to talk about the top 10 men. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, Now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about professional wrestling on the GSMC Sports Network, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage rumors, and, behind the curtain drama. We also talk about, superstar injury updates, inactive statuses. We also talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and even signings for promotion from AEW, WWE, to TNA, to New Japan Professional Wrestling. CMLL, if it makes major news wrestling headlines, we talk about it here on the show. So make sure you guys, join in daily. It's, it's pretty cool to talk to all the wrestling fans out there. All right, so let's go and jump on into our third segment. We got power rankings, ladies and gentlemen. We got the men's. We're going to talk about the top 10. Obviously, hit up that super chat because you guys are super awesome. Definitely get noticed on this show so we could talk about it. It's guaranteed to be featured on the show. So, obviously love it when you guys, have something cool to say, which is all the time. Come on, man. I mean, come on. All right, so we're going to talk about some of the men's right here. We're started off, obviously, number 10, Jack Perry, one of the guys in AEW that's kind of grown on me. Um, He's a great champion. He's amazing inside the ring. He's been around the world wrestling industry for quite some time. You've kind of seen him growing up. At first he was doing the whole Jungle Boy thing, and yeah, that was cool and all. But now I think he really found his footing right now as the scapegoat. I was kind of, I used to kind of rip on him for him, like, kind of being hard to work with backstage. And it was reported. I listened to an episode of Busted Open where Bully Ray was talking how seemed a little bit seemed a little disrespectful and not really talking to any of the other guys in the locker room, having a chip on his shoulder and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But maybe he was just having a bad day. But all in all, I think this guy needs to leave the elite. 1,010%. This guy should be, this guy's a main event, a walking promo on his own. He doesn't need Matthew and Nicholas Jackson anymore. Definitely doesn't need Kazuchika Okada. This guy needs to kind of be on his own. He needs to leave the elite. Be kind of cool to have that, that story where you kind of have the bad guy who knocks out other bad guys, kind of like a Deadpool kind of feel, I guess you can say, where, he's not really the good guy. He's not going to pander to the crowd. He's not going to get, he's not going to get the key to the city, so to speak, but he's going to go out there and he's going to wrestle some, some worse dudes that are worse than him. And, and then that's how he kind of becomes the anti-hero. You know what I mean? I think that'd be a good booking for Jack Perry because, I think he kind of needs something different. You know what I mean? He's right there. Like his matchups are good. He cuts good promos. The scapegoat thing is obviously something that, the fans can wrap their heads around. And, who doesn't love, who doesn't want to kind of be sympathetic toward the scapegoat in every situation he's ever been in. So, definitely, kind of grown a little bit, more fond of this guy we have, Jack Perry. All right, number 9, we have the LA Knight. LA. I'm just kidding. No, this guy's a great United States champion. I think, the way WWE Smackdown put the belt on him instead of Logan Paul, it's shocking. I got to be honest, at Cleveland Brown Stadium in front of his home, in front of his family and friends. So, it was a little, but then again, there was still a lot of things going on between some things that Logan Paul has had done, that he's said or that things have happened outside of the WWE. A lot of people kind of have speculations on why they kind of took a step away from Logan Paul not defeating the LA Knight. But the LA Knight, ever since making it to WWE, he's always been that babyface that people love so damn much. So they finally gave him a title. I think right now he's doing a good job as the champion representing the belt. I want to see who's going to challenge him next. Like, I know he's fighting Andrade tonight, but I respect Andrade, but he doesn't bring that much flair like the LA Knight does. Definitely. But Andrade puts on great matches. He's great inside the ring. He's a general inside the ring. So, but I love the LA Knight here at number 9. All right, at number 8, we got Nick Nemeth. Nick Nemeth, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, has a has a future. No, he doesn't have a future. Yeah, he has a future match with Moose, I believe. I think they're gonna fight one on one. No, I think they already did. No, don't quote me on that. But all in all, this guy has done everything he could in his power to kind of be successful in TNA. He's definitely homegrown superstar. WWE, I feel like, did drop the ball with his character as Dolph Ziggler. I bet you a lot of WWE officials I bet you Triple H wants this guy back super bad. Because the fans are into him. I love him more as a babyface than he has ever been a heel in WWE. I remember when he had that heel run with Drew McIntyre. And it was just, it was, I don't know, it was kind of nasty. I think that was happening in 2017, 2018. I could be mistaken, but I don't know. Nick Nemeth, love and respect him at number 8. At number 7, we have All Ego, Ethan Page. I like Ethan Page goes out there every Tuesday night and he does exactly what is asked from him. And the way he does it, like I kind of compared him to like a superhero kind of criminal, you know what I mean? In a superhero movie where he kind of comes out nonchalantly and he just wants things to be fair, that executive he wears fancy suits. And obviously you do have that good guy like Trick Williams is heading into the match and he wants to dethrone the corporal giant or whatever. So, I think Ethan Page, what he's been doing in NXT ever since he got basically debuted, I feel like he's been really, really good. You know what I mean? For the first couple of times, it was a little hit or miss with me. I was wondering why exactly they put the belt on him so damn quick. But I can kind of see right now that's like a change that I feel like NXT really need to happen. Um, his feud with Oro Mensah was decent. Not really the biggest or scariest guy to fight, for Ethan Page, but he did what he had to do, and now he has a match with Trick Williams at the first episode of this on the CW of NXT. But you definitely gotta love what All Ego Ethan Page has been doing. So at number 7, I got Ethan Page. At number 6, I got the AEW International Champion Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay, obviously, having that feud with MJF, defeating MJF at All In was, it was classic. It was pretty cool. But I can't believe this guy was so close to signing with WWE. That would have been a bombshell. But obviously, he got more money. He got a pretty good deal with Tony Khan and AEW. So, and because his wrestling style speaks for itself. Every single time he's inside the ring, it's a must-watch match. And now he has this match with Ricochet coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's just, I like Tony Khan. Definitely having a lot of companies under the umbrella of professional wrestling is definitely a huge plus. So every match is essentially kind of a big one. So definitely Will Ospreay sitting at number 6. All right, at number 5, I got the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. I like Gunther. I do. I really do. I just don't see I just don't see the flair. You know what I mean? At least, when Damian Priest was the champion, they had the Judgment Day drama going on. You know what I mean? And that babyface push from Damian Priest. Gunther, he's gonna get it's like he's holding the Intercontinental Championship again. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of compare it. I know it is not the Intercontinental Championship, and I know it is the World's Heavyweight Championship. But when it comes to like somebody big kind of holding it, you know what I mean? Like, and Gunther's a rising star in WWE, so this title reign is good for him. I feel like for his overall character, for his bookings in the future, is going to be good. I personally think that he's going to hold the belt for quite some time, probably drop it, maybe, couple of months. Maybe he finds someone at Survivor Series to fight. Perhaps, maybe CM Punk. No, I doubt CM Punk's going to win on a PLE that is not WrestleMania. I definitely think that maybe, Seth Rollins comes back. That'd be pretty cool to kind of see him fight for it. Damian Priest gets his, another match. Actually, what? I wouldn't be so keen on seeing Damian Priest, becoming the champion once again. Although, I did just kind of defend him as a champion. But I don't know. Just something big. Maybe Brock Lesnar comes. You know what I mean? At number 4, I have Roman Reigns. He does not hold a championship, but this guy's so badass. This guy's so cool. Definitely one of the best wrestlers in the whole entire world of professional wrestling. He was loved. He was hated. He was hated. He was loved, and like that's just amazing. truly amazing that Roman Reigns, literally, whenever he steps into onto the screen, it's like you pay attention. You know what I mean? Like when when sometimes I'll be watching SmackDown and I'll be like, kind of, skipping through the commercials and I'll fast forward to forward and then I'll like see Roman Reigns and I was like, oh no, I got to see what he had to say because he's just awesome. The Tribal Chief, I acknowledge my Tribal Chief at number 4. So at number 3, we got Oba Femi, the NXT North American champion, still running his dominance on NXT. Tony D'Angelo is going to come from. He's so damn close to the record. He's so damn close to the record. I don't know if he's going to be dethroned by Tony D'Angelo. Perhaps it could usher in this new era of the CW. Obafemi goes and he challenges for the NXT World Heavyweight Championship, or he moves shows. He could definitely get promoted to SmackDown or Raw, which I think as soon as Raw goes onto Netflix, there's going to be a little bit of a shakeup. You know what I mean? WWE kind of owes it to Netflix after they promised him The Rock and Roman Reigns to be on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, that didn't work out, so they got John Cena instead. But having some of the top, the high end wrestlers, it's good. It'd be good for good for Monday Night Raw. So at number 3, I got Femi. At number 2, I got Bryan Danielson, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Going out like a boss. Definitely going out like a boss. This guy has neck surgery due at the end of the year. This is exactly what AEW and Tony Khan, and Daniel Bryanson came together and they agreed upon. This next last run, well, not last run, because I doubt he's going to come back as a full-time superstar. Um, this last run basically is him being a full-time superstar. It's going to be amazing. He first, he defeated Jack Perry, defeated Swerve, and now he's going against Nigel McGuinness. And then up next after that will probably be Jon Moxley or Darby Allin. And then perhaps, you have, bigger guys like, MJ. This guy's going to fight like a dog. He's going to fight the best that AEW has for, kind of like his last little run there, which is great, which is exactly what Bryan Danielson would consider as a giant W if he would decide to retire at the end of the year and he relinquishes his championship. I don't think he's going to lose it. I honestly really don't think he's going to lose that championship belt without willingly giving it up himself. So at number 2, I got Bryan Danielson. Number 1, not really a shock. I got the WWE champion Cody Rhodes still doing his thing, representing all of the Paul Levesque era. Kind of like when Triple H represented the post Attitude Era, then Stone Cold Steve Austin the Attitude Era, and then the Ruthless Aggression was represented by John Cena. And now you kind of have Cody Rhodes as the guy. He's the main guy, and I definitely don't see him dropping the belt anytime soon. Probably after Mania. You got to give this guy at least a year run. It took 2 years and 2 Royal Rumble wins for this guy to finally finish the story, so to speak. Kind of a play on words there, but overall, I think Cody Rhodes still, he's still the best there is. Every single time he walks and every single time he's inside that ring, he puts on great matches. He makes his opponents look good, and that's overall. You can be the champion. You can give all the glory to yourself, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to let your fellow wrestlers shine as well. So definitely love and respect the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes at number 1. All right, so we went through the men. Now we're going to talk about these amazing top 10 women when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflecting on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Smackdown preview. Then we talked about my Thursday night wrestling review, Ring of Honor Honor Club 82. We also talked about TNA Impact that happened last night. And we talked about the top 10 men in professional wrestling, obviously, all my opinion. And we're going to talk about the women now. So obviously, if you have any ideas or maybe where you would rank some of these girls, go ahead and shoot it in the chat. We could talk about it. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on and talk about these amazing women. All right, so we talked about the men, and now we're going to talk about the girls. At number 10, I have Julia. Julia, she's just a walking wrestling machine. She really honestly doesn't really say much on the mic, but at the same time, she doesn't really need to. She can back it up. Seems like she's very like enthusiastic, charismatic. Um, Once again, another, Japanese style like wrestling and wrestler and stuff like that to kind of come from that promotion. So they have good wrestlers over there. So, obviously WWF is more or less kind of embracing it more now, more than ever. So, I think Julia is a huge, she's kind of like people like other wrestlers in Japan are probably going to follow in the footsteps to WWE, kind of like with Asuka, and all that. So I would love to see them going against each other, Asuka and Io Sky. Actually, I think it was my man Logan James who mentioned it last podcast, who left the message. Now he left the message as well. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, best cinema promo, cinema promo video year. Yeah, no, they're definitely gonna have some pretty awesome promos heading into Bad Blood. Like I said, I feel like this is kind of Cody Rhodes' last stint within the bloodline for a while. So it's I feel like WWE owes it to be like, kind of like this grand gesture. So I think it's definitely think it's going to be sick. All right, at number 9, I got Liv Morgan, the WWE World Heavyweight Women's Champion. I dig what Liv Morgan's doing overall on Monday Night Raw. I do. My opinion of her, obviously, I think she's a better chaser than a champion. People get behind her more when she doesn't have the title belt around her waist or laped over her shoulder. But like I said, she's doing what she has to do. She's cutting good promos with this whole Dominic Mysterio thing, and just egging Rhea Ripley on. I'd be shocked if Rhea Ripley defeats Liv Morgan at Bad Blood. I gotta be honest. I would be shocked. Definitely think something's going to happen, obviously, and then that's going to lead to more Survivor Series, war games. And I kind of, got a little crazy with the predictions last night. And I was thinking about it. I was like, it'd be so cool to have a team Liv against the team Ripley would be. I think that'd be pretty cool. You know what I mean? You kind of have all the heels against all the baby faces inside the cage at WWE Survivor Series. So I thought that would be pretty cool. At number 9, I got Liv Morgan. Number 8, Tiffany Stratton. It's Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton, she's all right. She's all right. At first when she made it to the WWE, I was kind of like, all right, where's WWE getting these girls from? You know what I mean? But this girl's athletic. She puts on great matches. She hits her spots, and she's great on the mic. And she's just like that in your face, kind of like annoying, but that's just her. That's just the style, and I feel like WWE has overall kind of brought out the most of her character. And I love her as the Money in the Bank winner. I think, when she cashes in, I think she's gonna win. It'd be kind of cool to kind of have her, but then again, I don't want her to be one of those champions that win. And just because she has the Money in the Bank, and then the way she keeps her title reign going is just interference after interference after interference. So I definitely don't want that for her overall. I like how WWE is booking her in some solid matches where she actually does defeat most of her opponents, cleanly. So, definitely think this, future of WWE. Obviously, maybe WWE still has a couple of more months to kind of hold off on it before her cash in. But, I hope by that time they, kind of have her credibility high. So when she wins the championship, people just don't look at it like a, kind of like how I see Liv Morgan as a champion. You know what I mean? So at number 8, I got Tiffany Stratton. Number 7, I got Mina Shirakawa, obviously a title holder as well. She's making it to AEW to confront Mariah May. Says that Mariah May has changed. She's not the same person anymore. and she has changed, and she's not the same, obviously, without Tony Storm. But Mina Shirakawa, wherever she goes, you know, she's money. Basically, she puts on great matches. 1,010%. That's the reason why she's on this list. I appreciate, obviously, every single time she's on the screen. She leaves this like, is she a heel? Is she a baby face? Kind of like, I don't know, kind of like this unpredictability. I guess that's the right word I was looking for. The fact that she's not really predictable, kind of, I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool to kind of see somebody like that. That's the reason why, Randy Orton has kind of made a living off of it throughout his career, where he's not really a heel, he's not really a babyface, he's going to go out there and do whatever you know, do whatever it does to make the Viper look good. So I got Mina Shirakawa at 7. At number 6, I got Rhea Ripley. I love Rhea. I definitely think she's the future of WWE. They're locking down a contract with her as we speak. They're looking to extend her, Nia Jax and Liv Morgan as well. But she's just, and I know this is going to sound kind of weird. She's super dominant as a champion. I can get, how WWE creative can get a little bunched up because they're like, okay, how could we make somebody beat Rhea Ripley, but it makes sense, and they have to beat her cleanly, and that's not going to happen. That's the kind of like what TNA and the knockouts division right now. I don't think anybody could defeat Jordan Grace cleanly. Obviously you kind of have this babyface approach from Rhea Ripley. I personally want to see Charlotte Flair come back and feud with Rhea. I think that would be, kind of bring out the best of both of those competitors. A huge test for Charlotte Flair, coming back from, surgery from, tearing her meniscus, her ACL and her MCL and stuff like that. So Rhea Ripley, is the future of women's division on Monday Night Raw. I like her darkness approach. I think when WWE Raw goes to Netflix, you're gonna see more like edgier content from these what is it, the Terror Twins, and I don't know, it'd be kind of cool. I definitely believe in Rhea Ripley, and she's one of the best to do it. So at number 6, I got Rhea Ripley. At number 5, I got Athena. Athena has become the longest reigning Ring of Honor champion of all time, not even the women's. Obviously on top of that, the women's. But this girl, all she does is win, 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 no matter what. I'm just kidding. No, but no, she really does. She really does. This girl can't lose. And why would she? She puts on, oh my God, every single time she's inside the ring, she's always doing something new and innovative, something that a lot of women's wrestlers that are kind of like, damn, like they kind of, they feel look up to her. I can imagine that 1,010%. She was great in WWE NXT. Ember Moon, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, going to Ring of Honor, and I'm just so happy for her to have all this success in Ring of Honor. So at number 5, I have Athena. At number 4, I have Mercedes Moné, and I'm not the biggest fan. Like I said, I do appreciate how she kind of goes out there and she knows that she's great. She knows that she's one of the best to ever, recently in modern professional wrestling. She has that it factor to her. You know what I mean? Like she has that like that star mentality. And that's cool. And that's exactly what she should have. And that's why fans love her. That's why some fans hate her. I hated her. I hated her as a babyface, but as a heel, I've kind of warmed up to her more because it just fits her so perfectly. You know what I mean? She has it all. She's got the looks, she got the talent, she got the Monet. And it just makes sense for her to be a heel. So when she was a babyface, I was like, no, thank you. As a heel, I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. All right. So on number 4, I got Mercedes Moné. And number 3, I got Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion, cutting an awesome promo with CM Punk saying that I should have been a Drew McIntyre fan. Saying I preferred your wife. This girl is like dynamite, man. Come in small packages, but this girl's going to talk she's going to talk crap. She's going to definitely belittle you. You might be taller than her, but at the same time, you probably feel 3 feet standing in the ring with her because of the way she just runs her mouth and her athletic abilities. I definitely think the NXT made a great choice choosing her to kind of be the face of the women's division because she has attitude, man. She has crazy attitude. It's a delight to watch her on NXT. I love her when she gets into other girls' face and stuff like that because that's just good TV. Like everybody on the NXT roster, I don't know if she has any allies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even that bad guy on the wrestling roster, at least there's some other guy that might go to bat for him. Like, for example, you got Gunther, you got Ludwig Kaiser, you know what I mean? But you don't really have like a, like the person that's gonna go out and like have your back. So Roxanne Perez is literally doing this all on her own. So she's a prodigy. So not really any surprises there. All right. So at number 3, I got Roxanne Perez. Number 2, I got Nia Jax. Nia Jax. I'm happy that she has this title run. Definitely it's about time. But I just don't want it to be cut short anytime soon. What's going to happen between her and Tiffany Stratton? It should be interesting. That's an interesting topic to kind of think of. I probably have to do a whole segment about, what exactly could happen with Nia Jax, her future. Should she drop the belt? Should she not? Because, she deserves it. Like, she's been with the wrestling organization for so long. She actually left, and a lot of people thought she was not going to come back, but she did. And she's part of a great family inside the professional wrestling industry. And, not that she's, solely depending on her status of being related to people like The Rock and Roman Reigns and stuff like that. When she goes out there and she cuts some great promos. She goes out there and she wrestles, and like although like what I was talking about, like bigger superstars, in physique and stuff like that. Not trying to be a jerk, but it's hard to book matches against them. But whenever she's in a match, she finds a way to make her other opponent look look good. You know what I mean? Because from the naked eye, you kind of look at the match and you're like, man, this girl's gonna squash this other girl in like 3 seconds. But no, they actually, she actually makes a pretty good match out of it. All right, number 1, I got Jordan Grace. I got the Juggernaut. No surprise there. This girl was made in a lab. She's fast. She's strong. She's aggressive. She's smart. She has it all. Literally, this girl's like the best thing since sliced bread in the women's division in all of professional wrestling. So, at number 1, we got the TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordan Grace. All right, guys. Well, hey, do not go anywhere. What we do every Friday, our last segment, we're going to talk about my wrestling news roundup. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about like 20 seconds. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. So, just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We talked about my WWE Smackdown preview. We also talked about my Thursday Night Wrestling review. We also talked about the top 10 men in professional wrestling. We also talked about the top 10 women in professional wrestling. So make sure you check those videos out on the GSMC podcast, YouTube, also the GSMC Sports YouTube as well. Make sure you check those out along with all the other podcasts from all the other guys. So yeah, let's go and move on. So we got done talking about the power rankings, you know what I mean? So now we're going to talk about the news. It's breaking news time, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. First and foremost, we got Zilla Fatu is no longer with the GCW. Does this have implications of him debuting on WWE sooner rather than later? Rikishi said in a podcast, in one of his podcasts, I think it's Off the Top or whatever, that he feels like Fatu needs a little bit more a little bit more, experience inside the ring. Because if you go into the ring in WWE and you just look awful, without the training, it's not going to look good. I know right now he's training, under the performance of like Booker T. I think he has a wrestling, training center or something like that. So it's a possibility. It can be that like, they're kind of telling Zia to be like, hey, dude, let's hurry this up so you can be part of this bloodline civil war. So I definitely think that's a possibility. Obviously it looks exactly like his dad. It's kind of crazy, but definitely could be the future of WWE as well. Still young, still such a young guy. So, maybe pumping the brakes a little bit here on, his debut in WWE. But overall, I feel like it would make sense, especially right now during this whole Survivor Series thing. So, it's a possibility. But it was kind of shocking to see that, he got let go from the GCW. Maybe like, some animosity between everybody. Maybe like, I don't know. I just, definitely was a bombshell to me. I was shocked. Next, we got Matt Cardona. If he makes it back to WWE, would vows to make an absolute difference, which is, I like that. I would love to see Matt Cardona back to WWE. Obviously, he's not the same Zack Ryder anymore. People know that, you know, um, he looks different. I doubt, more or less of the younger wrestling fans would really know who Zack Ryder was, with Mojo Rally, the woo woo woo, it. But I liked Zack Ryder. I thought he was, I thought it was pretty cool. I also liked Heath Slater. Heath Slater was badass as well. But Matt Cardona, if he makes it on if he goes on SmackDown, he could definitely be a heavyweight title contender right off the bat. That'd be pretty badass. Or against the LA Knight, you know. All I see in his foreseeable future in WWE is this opportunity in WWE can see dollar signs because people follow this guy. People love this guy. This guy's married to Chelsea Green. So, well, not, I think his fiance or dating or whatever. I'm not too sure if they're married. But, more or less, would love to see Matt Cardona inside WWE once again, but more like an aggressive kind of, like the way he is in TNA. So I definitely would love to see that. Chad Gable confirms that he's going to be an ambassador for the Special Olympics in Minnesota 2026. That's obviously his home state. That's just Chad. Oh, Chad. Yes, Chad. I'm just kidding. No. I think this is great for Chad Gable. When he turned heel against Sami Zayn, I at first didn't like it. I thought, it would probably end more badly than good. It seemed like it was going well. Obviously him trashing the Alpha Academy and then teaming up with American Made and having these, promos where, they look like, oh, I can't really say that on this podcast. But, and now you have Chad. He's such a great guy. Like he has that great guy mentality. It kind of reminds me of like obviously I like your younger Kurt Angle, but he's in the WWE. Every single match he fights, he's just he makes it prestigious. If you're fighting against Chad Gable, you could be like a second-rate wrestler, or somebody that's being brought, that's kind of being brought up by WWE personnel to kind of be trained up. I think the first opponent fighting Chad Gable would be great. Kind of, I feel like that's the reason why they had Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy go against Chad Gable because Chad Gable could definitely, this is probably the best warm up match you can possibly have. The best technical wrestler that WWE has on its roster, and it's kind of cool how he's willing to give back and stuff like that. And the Special Olympics is badass. It's super cool to watch. All these athletes have so much fun, so much fun. Do it all for the fun. You know what I mean? Like, I think in my community college days, I was doing the school newspaper and I covered they had a Special Olympics held at the school. And I don't know, it was just cool. You know what I mean? Like it was nice to see these guys actually go out there and, kick total ass. Obviously, they are, a little, mentally impaired, but they still can do things that I couldn't do. And I was like, man, that's, it was heartwarming. It was definitely heartwarming because these guys obviously are inspirations and stuff like that. So 1,010% love what Chad Gable was doing. I think it's great. And, even more respect and more likeness for Chad Gable here. All right, Tony Khan defends his early booking of Will Ospreay and Ricochet. He's been, kind of, when I saw the promo, when I found out they were going against each other, to be honest, it kind of gave me a red flag as well. I was like, dude, what are you doing? This is way too serious. This is way too early too. And, Tony Khan said at the 5-year anniversary AEW Dynamite, and on the roster they have unlimited amount of talent and great matches, and they do, which they do, and that's definitely something that I, kind of throw flowers at Tony Khan for. You know what I mean? Like everybody in AEW seems like you have more top guys than WWE has. You have more mid card guys than WWE has. The women's division is great. So overall, this, basically he just says, you know what? Yeah, it's a little too early, but we have all the talent in the world, so we can just keep doing good matches. So it's not like it's gonna, it's not gonna spoil or it's not gonna stop anything. And Ricochet and Will Ospreay definitely have the chemistry, the in-ring capabilities to, have maybe like seven, like even seven or like six matchups, and everybody would be on the edge of their seats. So I don't think it's, it's like, oh, he's doing it way too soon. You're kind of, popping off a little too early there. I think it's just, him kind of being kind of flexing a little bit, be like, hey, dude, we have a bunch of stars. It's not like, we needed this in our back pocket to draw fans and stuff like that, which AEW Dynamite actually, did pretty good in the ratings. It, kind of went up higher. So that's kind of cool. All right, NXT taping for November 5th has been canceled at the Performance Center, which means that they're probably going to host it in another city. That's my guess. NXT's big. NXT's, bigger, better, and stronger than ever right now. They have a kick-ass women's division. Their men's division as well. Trick Williams is great. I like what they're doing with Obafemi, the whole, Tony D'Angelo at the time. Even the no quarter catch crew, Tabian Heights is pretty damn impressive to watch. Javon Evans going against the Apex Predator Randy Orton in St. Louis, Missouri. So yeah, the taping's canceled probably because they're probably going to, kind of have another venue in mind to host NXT. All right, next Miro asks for a release from AEW. Not really a surprise here. He's been off of AEW TV for quite some time. His bookings have been, kind of pitter patter here and there, but definitely recently he's been going through you know personal relationship troubles and stuff like that. But coming back to the WWE could be interesting. Could be interesting, but I really he would have to take. I don't know. I don't know what WWE would offer him, but it still kind of seems like he has a lot left in the tank. I remember when he was Rusev, and he was just, I think something brute. No, damn it, I can't even think of it. Oh, it's gonna haunt me all night. I gotta Google it as soon as I get done with the show. He used to have the flag come out with the long hair. He looks totally different. But 1,010%, if he does come back to the WWE roster, maybe debuts in NXT. I feel like that'd be kind of cool. You know what I mean? I feel like that'd be a good booking for WWE, but I don't think he's going to get as much money as he probably made going to AEW. So, Miro ask AEW to be released. Next, we have Monday Night Raw. We'll go back to 3 hours as soon as it hits Netflix. We all, I kind of saw this coming. I was like, 2 hours, like a 2 hour show, like you don't, it's not enough. You have so much superstars that you got to take care of in terms of the creativity and the storylines and stuff like that. So, I was really pleased to hear this, that they're going back to 3 hours. You don't have to push certain storylines like over the top too early. I kind of saw that promo with the New Day, on Monday Night Raw, and I was like, all right, here we go. Here comes the pushing. You know what I mean? Because if you're moving to 2 hours, then essentially you're going to have to, cut things out and only leave PLE worthy promos. And right now the New Day isn't really, not really there. You know what I mean? Obviously, I would have loved them winning the championships. I kind of picked them to win because right now this JD McDonough Finn Balor thing doesn't really seem like it fits because Finn is the leader of the Judgment Day, the new Judgment Day, or the street trash or whatever they like to call themselves. So I think he makes more of a statement going after a singles title as opposed to holding a tag team, one half of the tag team title belt. So I don't know, kind of crazy. All right, it's been it's been reported that the Lucha Brothers have signed with WWE, reportedly. So I I'm happy. I'm happy that these Ray Fenix and also Penta El Zero Almeida is coming to WWE. More of a, I feel like it's a huge push for WWE, especially since they want to kind of go, across the brand, have more shows in Puerto Rico, inside Mexico City. They had a super show not so long ago and it went very, very well. It's kind of cool to see more, more of the Hispanic, Mexican culture wrestlers. Like I think it's cool. You know what I mean? I know WWE in the past, which worries me, whenever it comes to like bookings like the LWO, they don't really get the love that they deserve. Legado del Fantasma. I love Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, and I think they're impressive as hell. They kind of, dropped the ball in terms of creative and storylines for them. Hopefully this goes good. I think it will. Under the Triple H Paul Levesque era, I think it will be better. But it's exciting. Whenever new stars, are set to debut, I'm excited. All right, and lastly, we got SmackDown. Now it's SmackDown's turn. SmackDown moving to the USA Network will be a 3-hour show as well. Wow, that's huge. I don't really know what to make of that. Maybe, I definitely think all the stars on SmackDown, you could kind of have like a Monday Night Raw kind of thing, filling in that Friday night 5 o'clock spot on the USA Network. It's gonna be so crazy to have Monday night with no Raw on the USA Network. It's gonna be crazy. Wow. Wow. But when I heard about the SmackDown being 3 hours now, like, I get it. I think that WWE could definitely put in some fillers there, hit up some promos and some storylines or like maybe push, a younger superstar to be like, bigger. I definitely think they should now introduce a mid-card women's division belt. Definitely for sure now. The women's intercontinental and the women's United States Championship would be it would be probably appropriate if both shows are going to be 3 hours. So, it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I'm, always open to watch new things in terms of professional wrestling. It's going to be SmackDown was never 3 hours. It was always Raw. So, kind of, when they go to the USA Network, they're going to be 3 hours. So, kind of new, exciting. That's awesome. Innovative. I like it. All right, guys. So that's it for me. Friday. Hope you guys had a great Friday. Hope you guys had a great week of work. Those who have the weekends off, I envy you. I do have Monday off, so I do have Sunday, Monday off, so I can't be I can't complain too much. But overall, make sure you guys have a great, safe weekend. Hug your loved ones, and just have fun, enjoy life. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to follow us on Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. Superman punch that like a subscribe button to the show. Also, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have a bunch of other sports podcasts. NFL is huge right now. We have the GSMC Football Podcast with Kenneth. We have the Chip Shot Football Podcast with Manny when it comes to football. In comes fantasy sports. We got the GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast with Chris Shepard. Find your stardoms, your sit-ems, who to pick up off the waiver wire, who to drop after they haven't really performed up to par, which could be a couple of players on my team. DeAndre Swift, man. Why are you doing this to me? I'm just kidding. We also have, all around sports. We have sports by GSMC with Jeremy. We got this GSMC Sports podcast with TJ. We also got basketball with my man, Nelson. We got college football on Saturdays. Tomorrow should be pretty awesome. We got, college football podcast with my boy Tommy. So make sure you tune in to all those podcasts. They're super cool guys. 1,010%. We're all boys. I'm just kidding. No, they're good guys. They're really, I watch their podcasts and I just learn more and more how to be better based on, basically all the stuff that they're doing on their shows. It's 110% entertaining as hell. Keep you on the edge of your seat. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you will never, ever, ever regret subscribing to the GSMC Sports Network. So like I said, that's it for me. Have a lovely weekend. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, love you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn it.